So today is actually a big day. Today's the day we start the Amazon build in this tank right here. So I set the tank up about 8 months ago, just over 8 months ago now. It's changed a lot since I first set it up. For a start, it's very, very dark now in comparison to what it was like. And that's because under this light, we've got all the peace lily growing. And under this one, we've got all these sort of immersed plants growing out the top, which are beautiful. It's not really the look I want to go for. Now this is like an ultra realistic, to be honest. Look at them all, follow me over here. So there's the Colombian tetras. All the fish are going to be going in the new setup, of course, including the electric blue Acara. We've got 3 electric blues, there they are, all 3, and they're going to be coming in as well. So when I do this setup though, I want to leave a lot of swim room. At the moment, it's very crowded, but it is a good representation of a river, but that's not what I really want to go for in the new one. We need a lot more space because the electric blue Acara here, they will get bigger. So the first thing I'm going to need to be doing is taking everything out, pulling the water down, draining the water down, and then moving these fish over into the electric blue Acara tank temporarily. When it's all set up, we can catch them all and move them back again, because that tank will be changing as well in a future video. Now I suppose the best way to tackle this is just to start taking stuff out. It's got to be the peace lilies first, start pulling out some of the plants and the hardscape. There's a lot of wood in there as well. I have to use that on Escape in the future, but it's too big for this tank for what I've got in mind coming up. So inside this tank, my Colombian tetras have actually been breeding, and there's quite a few babies dotted around. So when I'm taking out all of this immersed plants here, which, oh, it smells fantastic. It smells like herbs. And when I take all this out, I'm doing it very carefully and being sure to lift slowly, so I'm not picking up any of the fish. I mean, surely they would fall out of that, right? Oh, in you go. So that is the water all drained out. Most of the fish are coming to the front. I need to take out that wood quickly and just make sure nothing's trapped behind on the gravel. It shouldn't be though, because I can't hear anything, but just quickly check. Oh, crikey, this is heavier than I thought. So waterlogged when I put it in, it wasn't. Oh, fish, there we go. Colombian tetra. Oh, gotcha. No, stop going up there. Come down. There you go. Just that one then, looks like. I just want to make sure that there's no more. No, looks like we're all good. Yes, that is so heavy. Right, here we go. Attempt number 1. Oh no, it's all right. It's not too bad. Just that one end is obviously massive and bulky, so it's got more weight. Oh, it's awkward though. Right, that's all the plants, all the big rocks out. Fish are okay at the moment. We've got some over in this corner, but quite a lot of them are actually down here for some reason, not sure why. I'm going to be saving all of this substrate at the back here. Look, it's like quality stuff. It's all, you know, cycled media effectively. We've got our traditional bags that I have now with some gravel in. There's some with aqua soil in as well, I think. Maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember if I did it on this one or not. Anyway, all these bags will be saved and potentially used in the Netscape if I need them. So that is the tank all cleaned out, looking good, ready to go. All the fish are down here in this tank, which is really well established. I also stuck in some more beneficial bacteria and a load of the gunk that came out the other tank as well. So it's kind of cycled, if you like, quite a bit of media in there in terms of gravel and that as well, goes further back. So they'll be fine for the time being. I'm going to monitor the water just to be sure, and if a water change is needed at any time, it will be done. So the first thing I want to do is up the lighting. These are 20-watt LED floodlights. Here I have some 30-watt ones, look, 2,400 lumen. They're about the same size actually, well they're slightly bigger, but they should just fit straight on. And just, I've got some little connectors at the back there you see that are just slot out and put them back in again. And if you're wondering how these lights are suspended, it's just a piece of wood that goes up and across, look, with a triangle for some support. That's basically it. And then it's just screwed to the back of the actual stand for the whole thing as well. It's so simple, but it works well. And because of the black background, it kind of ties in quite nicely, doesn't it? Right then, we're all wired in, moment of truth. Yes, there we go. Right, it's probably quite hard to tell on camera because the light sort of compensates. Like as its brightness goes up, it sort of levels it off, but that is way brighter. Now there's nothing wrong with the lights I had before, the 20 watt. They grew plants, but I want them to grow massively vibrant this time. A lot of stems I've got going in here, and I think that could work well. If not, I could swap them back, but I know it'll be fine because I've used 30 watts on my other tanks now. But anyway, we can now start on the proper construction. We now need to put in our base layer. So this is the substrate system that's going to harbour the beneficial bacteria and also the nutrients for the plants to grow. And remember, down here, look, we've still got these mesh bags that are full of gravel, different sort of types, but it doesn't really matter. So black and white, again, it's the same. Just came as a mixed pack, but yeah, I'll leave a link to these. We'll be putting aqua soil in them next, but first of all, get the gravel down. Now down here, look, I've actually collected a ton out of everything. We've got some really good plants here I managed to save as well. We've got gravel from previous scapes. I'm gonna put those in just to sort of seal this area off. Actually, no, on top of that, I could put the aqua soil first and then we can seal it all. So we've got these bags here. Oh. There's bags within bags. Yes, we've got more of the media bags. They're a bit bigger than the other ones. I'm going to keep them sort of shallow in depth so that there's wider surface area, but it doesn't bulk it up too much. This is what we're going to put the aqua soil in. Literally just a case of unzipping it. Oh, and the zips are made of plastic as well, so they're not going to rust or anything. And you take your aqua soil and place it in. Now it will make a mess on the floor, so that's just one jug's worth. Probably going to want a couple, or 2.5, something like that, and that'd be perfect. There we go, that's just what I want. Now, if you're worried about roots being able to penetrate, yes, they can, because look, they're all covered in that. Should probably take them off, but I'd be here forever, wouldn't I? But yeah, they all make their way in, send off little thinner ones, perfect. There we go, that's plenty. Now I've left a space here because we're going for a triangular composition in this one. I want to have fast flow coming from this side just to sort of really simulate the river. Now the flow will point in the outside direction, which means when it comes back round, it'll pull all the stem plants across in like a nice sweeping action. Should look pretty good. So yeah, I don't need to worry about that area. Now next up, I'm just going to cover this whole lot in a ton of gravel. I just want it to look really realistic and completely different grades. So some like this, that I've saved before, look, it's literally like what you'd find in a river. I've been doing a lot of research looking at underwater footage of like, you know, Amazon rivers and things like that, and around the Brazil area as well. And a lot of it looks just like this with bigger rocks as well. So I'm going to do that. First of all, I just want to get in a bag. Oh, nearly took the light out. And this is just a sort of lighter base colour. Then I can put the detail on top. Right, so the reason I like to do all of that work first is so that now we've got a base to put things on so that they don't all sort of fall over. If we put rocks and big pieces of wood on just the glass, it's got a tendency to slip. You need about 4 people to hold it in place while you put rocks right now. I haven't got that time, haven't got that many friends. So now we can just start building our hardscape, take our time with it and just, you know, just play around with it and enjoy it. Right, first of all, I know for sure I want this piece going in. Look at it. Looks so cool. I just don't know how I want it going in because I don't want it taking up a huge amount of room. That could be the sort of outside part of the triangular composition, couldn't it? Oh, that's a horrible noise. That's okay, I can get rid of that. Okay, that allows us now to put it back further. I want a good swimming area in the foreground, you see, but I do want lots of plants as well. So I'm thinking open area and then some more wood here. Some rocks all around it, and then a big planted area all behind it and all in this section as well. That should look cool. Yeah, from the front, look, that's giving us just a just a shape that I want to start with. I might move it still, I don't know yet, but yeah, liking it so far. Again, and at this stage, I don't really know what I'm doing, clearly. I'm just putting stuff in and seeing how it looks versus everything else. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. We've got tons of swim room out here. We've got potentially loads of planting room as well, although it doesn't kind of look like it. There's a big gap behind all of that where all the plants can come up. And also, I'll bring more sand and gravel and everything in this foreground area with the rocks. So we've got even more planting to come in the foreground as well. I just want tons of stems. I want this whole area to be like a stem area. Then we can have like sort of smaller plants creeping out into this open sand area, which will be the open river, if you like. And you know what they say about the hardscape? Go big and you can't really go wrong. Is that what they say? Or did I just make that up? I think I made it up. Anyway, the point still stands. Like many times I see people with their tanks, they've just got a few little sticks and that it doesn't work. You need big pieces for big tanks and you need the right size pieces for smaller tanks so that you've, you know, covering most of the area. Okay, let's get some rocks in. If you're looking, I'm trying to keep that line and then that line and then again it follows that way. So I've got crisscrosses, if you like, and it kind of just gives it a sort of flow look, like it's all gone with some kind of water movement or that kind of thing. I don't like this one here, look, you see, because it's fallen. I need to prop it somehow to be up a little bit higher. I'll just use some rocks. I expect that'll work, hopefully. If not, leave it, maybe. No, I can't leave it, that's too funny. Hang on, let me sort that. Yeah, that's what I want to see. So it's got that sort of formation to it. Left a big gap there because remember that's going to be planting as well. A little bit annoyed about this corner piece, to be honest, because that's blocking quite a lot. I almost want to be able to cut that straight off, but I haven't got like a big saw or anything. I think my dad has though. I might take it to him. Yeah, let's do that. I'm not talking about that tall bit. I'm talking about the section just behind it.
And I'm back. My dad has just chainsawed that whole back bit off for me, so now it should sit with plenty of room for plants.
Oh, we're looking sweet now, right? It's time for that detail. This is way too clean for me. I do not like clean sand in the foreground. I just think it looks unnatural. I know it is pretty much the done thing to do in aquascaping, but yeah, I like that sort of half aquascaped, half natural look. Do you know what I mean? So tons of detail and not a clean look. Oh, details, details, it's getting there. It will look way better than this, don't worry. This is sort of very rough how it looks, or how it will look. Nowhere near the final thing. Gonna be lots more sort of pebbles like these as well coming out, because again, when I did my research, there's loads of variety in sort of sizes, shapes, and colours to all of the detail stones you see in the proper riverbeds. I've also filled in that whole back area as well, look, with that extra sand. So that's up nice and high now. Come to the side, you should be able to see. Yeah, there we go, look. You can see how much depth we've got for all the plants, and there's the substrate system for the roots as well. So that's really, really good. Loving that so far, but remember I said I want lots of details in the foreground. I need lots more of the small rounded pebbles. It gives a far more, I don't know, rivery sort of feel, coming out a little bit further, and then, you know, mixed in amongst them as well, some even smaller rounder pebbles. Yeah, here's what I'm talking about, look. Boosh, boosh. Again, don't need all these sound effects. And they look better when they're pressed in slightly as well, like as if everything's built up around them. I'm trying not to be too sort of uniform with it, because from my research, everything's kind of just completely random. It's just, I mean, I'm being too careful as it is, to be honest. Like, I feel like that should turn though, because it will go with the water flow.
And then next up, I've got this little bag here, which is a mix of different grades of gravel. Matt actually put this together for my local Maidenhead Aquatics. It's like a mix of everything. It's so good, look. And just like before, I'm going to try and be quite random with it, placing it amongst those sort of groupings of stones, but leaving loads of different textures and colours in between, so we're not just like blocking out one colour here. We've got loads mixing, which is, again, as I've done from research, it's just how it looks. Not everywhere. Some parts are more sort of plain than others, but the part I'm going for is mix. Oh, wicked. I'm completely happy with that. Next thing to do is to glue all this wood in place with the super glue gel. This is the brand I use, but I suppose any will work really. This stuff's never actually been underwater, so I'm pretty sure it would all just completely float. I'm not certain. Some of it's, I mean, it's really hard wood, so maybe not, but I'm not going to take any chances and I'm going to glue it all down. Right, everything is locked down, it's all dried, I've been away and come back again, and now I want to add the first plants, and I'm going to go with some weeping moss to start with. Now, moss overtakes escape very quickly if you cover everything, so I'm just going to do it in some little select places, and then you can keep on top of it, and it just looks really natural then and good. So for instance, on the rainbow fish aquarium, here's an example of when it goes a bit nuts. Like, I trimmed it not long ago, it grows back in no time. It's basically too much to start with. Over to the rare ecosystem in this tank. So look, the moss down here, this is weeping moss, and this one here. But mainly look, on the rock there, that was trimmed about the same time ago as on the rainbow fish aquarium. But it's just, you know, it's a nice little area and it stays like compact. I like that better. I think that looks a lot better. Don't get me wrong, the moss looks gorgeous. It just doesn't look very realistic, does it? But it's really, really simple. We take some water, spray down where we want the moss to go. That helps it stick a little bit better. And then we want to place pieces of the moss all the way along the wood. Don't make it too thick, because otherwise the bits underneath will die, because they still need light, remember? See, I think that's enough. And then it's just a case of taking some cotton thread like this and just wrapping it round. Now, this can be quite tricky and fiddly, but take your time with it. It's definitely worth investing the time in doing this part of it. So I've also wrapped some pebbles and a little bit of moss as well, look, just to bring some of that mossy goodness, I'll spin that one around, up into the foreground area. Not too much, again, like I say, because it gets uncontrollable otherwise. And of course, don't forget to keep misting all of that down. Oh, and I glued this one down just because of where it is on the wood. Would have meant wrapping so much around. Yeah, it's not going to work very well. It's going to look awful with all the cotton just sort of wrapped around without the moss. I didn't want too much mossy, so yeah, perfect. Right, we can now start planting. Awesome, I've got so many plants to choose from. I've got an absolute ton down here. I've got loads of hydroculture pan I'm going to use. Got some crypts, we've got Java ferns at the back. Hygrophila pinnata as well, maybe. But we're massively going to focus on stems, and there are so many in here. Loads of different Ludwigias. We've got Hygrophilas as well, so yeah, should look so good. So we've got some Lilyopsius Brasiliensis here, look. This will be nice in some of the foreground areas. I'm hoping it will creep out as well, because remember, the aqua soil comes all the way across there to about there, so it'll be provided with nutrients, and then it'll be able to creep into the sand, still getting nutrients from that aqua soil, so it can actually creep everywhere. Now, all the plants you can see in this video are from Tropica. No, I don't get them for free, I buy them all. I just like doing things that way, and then you get great customer service as well, all good. So it's real simple, look, take the roots, pinch it. This is from one pot, look, so I've got two nice pieces there. Stick it anywhere, not completely anywhere. I mean, it's in a little open area there, so I'm hoping it's gonna creep around. And another one this side as well, look. Look at that, perfect. Trying to keep it sort of close to the rocks there, so it looks a bit more natural. Because if you just stick it like completely in the open, it's gonna look weird, isn't it? Okay, already looking sweet. Next up, I'm gonna plant some of the sage that I had in the previous scape that I saved down here. Now, some of them are really long, which will go well further back, and some of them are a little bit shorter, like that one, so that can come, you know, amongst the foreground. Now, this will creep fast, but that's what I want. It's gonna look so good when it's crept all over this whole area, and because we've got the strong lighting, it means that it'll stay quite short as well, so the less lighting, the longer the leaves become. Now, I don't want them really long, so it's good that there's highlighting, and they'll stay short and they'll just sort of spread everywhere. It should look really good. Oh, so that is looking so good now, but I think a good idea would be to put some ferns in some of these gaps we're seeing, and then after that we can put in the background plants, the stems. I just think it's a good idea to do it now, so then we can see where there's gaps for stems versus where there isn't.
So that is looking sweet. Now let's get started on those background stems.
Okay, first of all, we've got an absolute ton of plants here, all tropica again, as I said before. So we've got Hygrophila polysperma, we've got the Siamensis 53B, one of my favourites, looks so good. It just goes so vibrant and green under sort of any lighting, to be honest. Then we've got Ludwigia palustres super red, we've got Reineke pink, Altanamphra Reineke pink, Ludwigia Ruben, Ludwigia granulose. Oh, there's so many to choose from. Now, obviously, if you're doing this, you're not going to have this many plants. Let's be honest, are you? I'm a YouTube channel, you know, I make money from my content, therefore I can reinvest it in things like plants. So you'd probably need a third of this, I'd say, and then you can keep trimming and replanting to get a dense look over time, whereas I have the ability, oh, it's a love heart, I've just noticed it's a love heart, oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I have the ability to get it dense from the start, so that's what I'm going to do for you guys and for myself. Right, there we go, that's a lot of plants prepared. I'll leave a full list in the description for you guys that are interested, but for now we need to get started because they're going to dry out.
So as usual guys, it's tool list at the back. You're really going to struggle to see me doing anything back here, aren't you? But before I just give it, I'll tell you what, I'll just time lapse it, show you it all after I've finished everywhere here. Well, I told you all I was going to go plant heavy, and that's what I've done. I'm just going to fill it up now. I need to get water in there before this all dries out. And it takes a while, as you can imagine, to fill up a tank this big, 4-foot tank, you know. What's it going to take? 30, 40 minutes, something like that. I like to feed it in nice and slowly so we don't disturb up all the sand as well. Right, a good tip for you guys, so you don't forget when you're filling up like I nearly just did. I don't know how loud this is coming out on camera, but it's so loud. Anyway, yeah, just little suction cup, little electrodes. There we go. No more spillages. Look at that though. I said it was going to be heavily planted. Now it will look better than this when everything starts to stand upright and there's not so many micro bubbles. I need to get a filter running right now. Right, so I've got this filter here which normally just sprays out one way, but I bought this little spray bar that perfectly fits it, which is a miracle. So what that means then, I can put it in there, it's going to spray nicely along the top, and I can also put the media from the filter that's down with the fish now. So we're going to have a fully cycled filter to go straight away, which is perfect really. If you don't have that, you can just use a load of beneficial bacteria, that kind of thing. Remember, we've also got this cycled media that's all underneath the substrate as well, which, yes, some of the bacteria would have died off, but some of it will still be there, right? Probably made that up, I don't know, hopefully. The impeller had been sat out dry for a while, so it got a bit stuck, so I just tapped the top and then it started. So look at that, really good flow, really good surface agitation and oxygen exchange. Now, a lot of people are going to be thinking, surely that filter isn't big enough for all those fish. And well, what I say to that is there was no filter beforehand, was there? So then it really doesn't need it because we've got so many plants. The plants just really are magic. They're cheat codes to fish tanks, basically. So that's why I can go without having these big filter systems, because I've already got it. Now, of course, you can use canister filters, but I'm just a massive fan of these little black internal ones. I just find they're so good. And when the filter floss gets clogged up, it makes a noise which tells me maintenance time. With the canisters, I tend to leave them for like a year. So I just like it this way. I just really like the flow they produce as well. So it's now the next day, and at first glance, it looks like a disaster has hit the tank, but this is just normal. Yeah, there we go, look. Full-on brown tinge to everything. That's just because this wood is brand new, so it's gonna leach tannins into the water. We can do a nice big water change, and that'll put it right back, and that should keep it, you know, pretty clear then. This isn't the sort of wood that leaches a ton of tannins. It's not like bogwood, it's structure wood. It's a real hard wood as well. Also, I've noticed a little spot down there I didn't cover, so I can put some moss on that as well. Woohoo, we are looking super fresh again, and I love that sort of shimmer effect that we're getting. That's because obviously we've got all that flow up there disturbing the water surface, and spotlights will give you that effect. If you have like a strip that goes across, like a bar style light, then you don't get it as much. But yeah, really like that shimmer. No, I don't want it too much. I can make it a lot more, by raising the filter and getting more surface agitation, but it starts to look a bit weird then. Just that little bit like that I think looks good. We can put in our fish, and down here they all are. They're all healthy, all doing really, really well. Look, no problems at all. So I'm going to have to sort of take apart this tank to be able to get them all out, but that's not a problem. It's a small tank and it's not really doing anything anyway. Oh, actually, you know what? Before I do that, floating plants in a new tank. So here we've got some amazing red root floaters. Now, red root floaters do really well with bright lighting. The brighter the light, the more red they go. And the perfect example of that is, move that out of the way, is in the electric blue Acara tank that we've got here. So right under this spotlight, I put some more of them, and look, ignore the film on the surface. The filter needs sorting out, but obviously they're just about to go across. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, look at these red root floaters. Look at that, blood red, that's gonna look so good. And obviously we've got that highlighting in this tank as well, so they should stay nice and red. Okay, there's one lot. Now they don't like, well, I don't think they like a huge amount of flow, but that's fine. They'll go over in that back corner and just settle over there. And there we are with some more. These are even more red, whoa. Oh, look at that. How good does that look? Right, it's time to put those fish in. I'm excited. I've now got to take out a load of this hardscape because it's going to be impossible to scoop the fish otherwise. Oh, it's a lot bigger than I thought. Pleco's all over it. Oh, sorry, bristlenose, which I'm going to put in the new scape as well. I mean, they might eat all the plants, but I don't care. Right, there's enough out there. I've got loads and loads of them there in one scoop. So I've now caught all of the fish. Now don't worry, the temperature that they were stored in the other tank, that tank there, is the same temperature as the newly set up one. I've tested with thermometer because obviously I've just filled it up, but I fill the tank up to the correct temperature, I just adjust the taps. So it's all the same, the whole room is heated, so we're all good in that aspect. We can just put them in. Okay, then here we go, all the fish together, no messing. Whoa, look at that lot, in you go. And the Plex, one more in there. Come on, buddy. Out you come. There you go. Okay, every single one of the fish currently is in the foreground area. Colours are looking pretty decent on them, considering the fact they've just been taken out of their sort of comfortable environment that they've just been in for a few days, put straight in here. But trust me, the colours will get even better at the moment. They're a bit sort of worried. Right, next job then is to catch these guys. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. What I'm going to do is lure them in a certain area with some food, get the big net, and scoop them hopefully all in one go. Okay, currently, there we go, let the T's do. I do the tap, means there's food coming, and then if I get my net ready, put some food up there like that. Is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? It worked with, no. Oh no, I think I've missed my chance. This is going to be so hard. Okay, I've been trying for ages now and I've resorted to just leaving that net in there. Going to get a second net. The thing is, these fish are so clever. You wouldn't, whoa, I've just looked across. Fish are absolutely loving it. They're loving the flow. Oh, that is so cool. Look at that. What a shot. Awesome, guys. That's a massive school together. Obviously, they feel under threat because they've just been caught and moved around. So it makes sense that they would all move like that. With the Colombians there leading the charge. Oh, that was so cool. Look at that. Loving it. So I just noticed that the water was sort of fogging up a little bit. It's really fogged out. I just put in some of the API AquaClear. Yeah, this stuff, not sponsored video or anything, guys, but it's just what I use when I'm setting up tanks. It goes misty like this for about, I'd say, an hour or so on a tank this size. I've also stuck in an extra filter and put fine filter floss in both of the cartridges. So that should pick up, what it's doing is binding the dust together, and then the filter picks it all up. It should go crystal clear. Oh yeah, and I've now caught 2 of the electric blue Acaras. Still 1 to go. It's proving very clever, and I can't even find him at the moment. Right, so it's been about an hour or so. The tank's a little bit murky still, but I have caught the fish down here, and I don't want to keep them down in this little tub for any longer, so I'm going to put them in now. Okay, here they go. I hope they like it. It's a lot bigger than their previous tank, but they've not had any mates with them yet. I mean, straight away, the colours are looking fantastic. No aggression shown to any of the other fish. Oh, that is so good to see.